Alright, welcome back to WMAC Now with your host Chuck Stevenson, coming at you with a fight review. So we're going to Miami, Florida for episode 3 of Combate Global for this year. We're going to the Flyweight division. Number 2 ranked Combate Flyweight Melissa Amaya coming in undefeated at 5-0. She's taking on the number 8 ranked Flyweight Gillian Noll coming in at 3-2. I was looking forward to this fight. Unfortunately, I fell asleep, missed it live, only got to watch the replay now. But yeah, this is one I was looking forward to, and I heard there was some controversy around it as well. Anyway, first round started, and Amaya landed a high kick. It was answered with punches from Noll. Noll ducked under a punch to take the back, and a scramble ended with Noll on top in Amaya's half guard. There was some ground and pound by Noll on top. She mostly was looking to pass guard, though, while she was on the ground. Amaya was able to stand up into the clinch. Noll ended up landing another double leg takedown to guard. And she had good positional control until a scramble saw Amaya take top control. But then, like almost right after, or like a few seconds after, Noll was able to open up a scramble herself, and Amaya tried to jump a guillotine, but Noll stood up and out, and from there both stood up, and Amaya started landing some counters. She started finding the timing of Gillian Noll, and Amaya shot for a takedown of her own, but Noll was able to reverse it and landed on top. So that was your first round. Second round, Noll came out, and she was really working a pressure game here. She pressured forward with punches, and Amaya seemed happy to stay on the outside. She circled, countered, and, timing the strikes of Gillian Noll. Now, Noll was throwing a lot of 1-2s, whereas Amaya went for landing bigger single counters, with the occasional kick thrown in there for measure. As the round wore on, I noticed that Gillian Noll started showing some more damage on her face. And a nice push kick by Amaya to control distance. Noll got a single Noll got a single takedown with about 15 seconds left, but she was unable to get anywhere with it before the time ran out. So going into the third round, I had it even up, so did the judges with the open scoring. Third round, Noll again played the pressure game, throwing combos early, forced Amaya outside. Noll was really heavy on volume, but Amaya, I would say, was the more accurate puncher and was the more damaging with her strikes. And Amaya started walking Noll into her counters. Like, she started letting Noll come forward just to land a big right counter. And Noll at one point did duck under a punch for the body lock. She was looking for a trip. Eventually, she converted it to a single leg right into Amaya's guard. And I was kind of disappointed to see this from Gillian Noll, but she had like a minute and maybe 15 seconds, almost a minute and a half, to do something on the ground. But she mostly just held on. Whereas Melissa Amaya, she was not content to just stay passive on bottom. She was landing punches and short elbows to the head of Gillian Noll. And eventually they got back up to their feet with like maybe 10 seconds left. But nothing really happened there. So it went to the judges. And 2 of them saw it 29-28. The third judge saw it for a draw. Majority decision went to your winner, Melissa Amaya. So there's some controversy on Twitter over this decision, like some small controversy. But I got to be honest, I agreed with the 2 judges that had Melissa Amaya as the winner. Now, Gillian Noll threw a lot more than Melissa did. I mean, she threw a ton more strikes than Melissa Amaya. But she missed a lot. I would say she landed maybe half the punches that she threw, whereas Amaya was very accurate. Very accurate, good with her timing, and she was the heavier hitter. She was far more effective with her striking. Now, do I think Amaya could have used more volume? Definitely. But like I said, her timing and her accuracy were great. Like dead on. And when you have good timing like that, when you're counter striking, excuse me, and you can time your strikes well, that's going to be far more damaging. It's going to be far more noticeable visually to the judges. And overall, it's just a far more effective strike than if you're pressuring forward, just throwing volume to land. Now, Gillian Noll, she needed a third round. After the second round, she needed a third round that was far closer to what she did in the first. But she only got one takedown, and she did nothing with it. And that was in the crucial latter half of the round. She needed to do a lot more with that takedown, other than just stay low and guard and hold on. But that's all she did with it. She could have been way more active and done a lot more with that takedown, but she didn't. And one note I have here, and I've talked about this before, Noll suffers from, pale fighter syndrome. And that's, as soon as punches start landing, she's going to start showing damage. Pale fighters, they get red very easily. They don't take damage well overall, as a general rule. They don't take damage well. And the more damage they take, the more easily it shows. It's just an unfortunate reality for most fighters who come in very pale. And Melissa Amaya, she remains undefeated. She's a top contender in the Combate Flyweight division, now at 6-0. She might even have an argument for moving over Maritza Sanchez for the number one spot. The argument can be made. So let's talk things to work on. For Melissa Amaya, I would like to see more volume. She was doing good with the volume and her accuracy. Doing good with the accuracy and her timing. But I still would have liked to seen a little more volume. Also, I would have liked to seen her be more willing to hold her ground. Her hardest punches weren't when she was moving. It was when she, stood, planted her feet, and threw. So be more willing to hold the ground when countering. For Gillian Noll, I would like to see more accuracy. Granted, when you're like a pressure striker, you're mostly throwing a lot of volume, but it's got to be effective volume. Like, you have to land with it. Also, activity on the ground. She just was not very active when she had top control. She was mostly just trying to look for positional control or to improve position, but you got to throw in some strikes as well. Throw in some ground and pound. Emphasize what you're doing on the ground. Now, for fights to make. For Gillian Noll, she's at number 8 right now. I would say a rematch with Aitana Alvarez at number 9, but Alvarez is moving down to strawweight, which leaves number 10 Tyler Schaefer. I think that's the fight to make. For Melissa Amaya, I've said this after her last fight, and I'm going to say this again. The fight to make right now is Maritza Sanchez, the number 1 ranked fighter, for the inaugural title. Combate needs to get off their butts, make that a title fight. Get it done. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the bout. Melissa Amaya defeats Gillian Noll via majority decision. Let me know your thoughts on the bout in the comments down below. Did the judges have it right? Or is the controversy sound? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you like this vid, please hit that like button. And while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe to WMMA Scene Now, the best, most complete women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.